Yo, what's going on YouTube? Technically T, man. Thanks for stopping through. If this is your first time, I do smart room reviews, accessories, sometimes computer accessories and different things like that. And I want to start getting to talking to a little bit about camera gear. So what a better time to start off than talk about the Sony event today. Now, before we get started, I want to give a quick disclaimer, man. I am no professional photographer, videographer with the whole Ronin rigs and all types of stuff. No, that's not me. I'm just a regular person who makes these YouTube videos and likes to be a little bit crispy in the process while doing it, man. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Now, if you found this video, you're probably one, already a Sony shooter, or two, you want to become a Sony shooter and you think the 6400 is a good option to vlog into it. So let's go ahead and get into a little bit of that, and let's kind of get into why I titled this video as such. Now let's go ahead and talk about some specs, because you know some folks out there, you just want to hear the specs, you want to hear numbers. You already know they are rocking that 24.2 high image quality megapixel sensor. Now what all that means, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure if you leave it up to the professionals, they're gonna tell you what the real deal is with all that. But it does offer you that 24.2 megapixel sensor. It does support 4K shooting at HDR, so you get that HLG profile. Now personally, I'm an a7 III shooter. I don't really shoot in HLG because I've heard some horror stories. But if you're out there and you're good with the color grading space, then you can get some nice 4K content out of the 6400. Now, one dope thing that they did mention was the new autofocus, and they are saying this is the world's fastest autofocus. Now you see it's working on animals and photography, when the human eye, when they're moving. They had a little demonstration of the dude boxing and all that, and the autofocus was right on point. The autofocus definitely seems like it's on point. If it's any better than any other autofocus that we've already seen, then you already know that autofocus system is going to be on point. Now they do offer 11 frames per second continuous shooting, and also they introduce interval shooting, to where you want to get some nice time lapse. You can do that in 4K 24 frames per second or 30 frames per second. All right, so getting to the stuff that really matters now. You know, of course, Sony did what we at least wanted them to do somewhat. They gave us a flip up screen. You want to say flip out? No, they didn't give us a fully articulating screen, as bad as all of us Sony shooters want to see that. This go around, they didn't give it to us. Maybe they're saving that for the A7S III. That's wishful thinking. You never know what we're gonna get with that. But they did give us a 180-degree flip up screen, so I'm assuming for us that's better than nothing. We can stop crying. We gotta take what we can take and move on. But here are my gripes. Here is why I titled the video as such. If you're gonna mark this camera as a vlogger's camera, if you wanna actually use this camera for vlogging, there's a few things that you gotta do. And all of my alpha shooters, 6000, 6300, 6500, you already know where I'm kind of going with this. So I'll get to that in a second. But if you're off in a flip up screen, the first thing that's gonna come up is your microphone. If you have the mount on top of the camera, then you have your flip out screen to see yourself, then you won't be actually seeing yourself when you're actually vlogging with your Rode Video Micro or whatever mic that you want. You won't be able to see yourself when you're vlogging. So in that case, you will have to get an L-shaped bracket or something like that to put your microphone on the side of your camera, just so you can see yourself when you're vlogging. So number one, that's just more things you have to take with you when you're vlogging. You're adding more weight. Vlogging needs to be light. It needs to be quick, on the go. Therefore, you're adding more things to the camera to make it be actually served as a vlogging camera. Two, and this is the main reason for the title of this video. Sony is still using those NP-FW50 batteries. Now, if you are 6300, 6000, 6500 shooter, I just actually sold my 6500 and picked up this A7 III. You already know those batteries are trash. And when I mean trash, I'm talking about trash. You can't get through many shoots with those batteries. Man, every time I shot a video, I had an AC adapter plugged up, external power all the time. I never depended on battery. So if you're talking about this being a vlogger's camera, for one, you have to take a bracket, a cage, or something like that so you can mount your microphone on the side. And then two, you have to carry 10 batteries with you when you want to go vlogging. And to me, that's just not the ideal vlogger's setup. A vlogger setup needs to be, once again, light, agile, and be able to last at least a day on battery. Way better off if they would have threw this new battery, man, this Z battery, if they would have threw that into it, I think everything would have been solved and the camera would have been a solid thing. I can rather deal with having a bracket or something on it to hold my mic, but I don't want to have to always switch batteries when I'm vlogging, because you can be in the point of missing that moment, something very important that you need for your video, and then your camera goes dead because the batteries don't last. So Sony, you had me. I thought this was gonna be a very nice vlogging camera, and the price point is set at $900 for the body only. And I think with the kit lens, the 16-250, I think they say it may go up to 12 or 1300 or something like that. I'm not sure the actual cost of it, but it's priced pretty decently. I think if you're coming from a 6500, I think you can stay right where you are because you do have that IBIS. Now, if you have a 6300, it might be worth possibly selling your used setup for, you know, 600, 650, putting a little bit of cash to it and picking up the 6400 could be kind of beneficial to you. So it just depends on what you plan on using your camera for, if the 6400 is actually worth it for you. But for me, man, I don't think it's really gonna matter like that because you still have the same trash batteries, man. But technically, T, let me know what you think down below. If you're a Sony shooter, let me know. I don't care if you shoot Canon, Fuji, Nikon, Blackmagic, whatever you shoot, man, let me know down below. Let me know what you think about this new 6400 and how well do you think it's gonna go. But technically, T, yo, I'm out of here. I'll catch you on the next one. Later.